Welcome to the first ever race of the Tide Cup Series. So this is the racing series that goes along with the Virtual Racing Championship. This is for up-and-coming drivers, but right now we don't have that many up-and-coming drivers. So I'll be Austin Switzer in the 21, starting on the pole in this race. Marshall McDowell is in it, as is Annie Barr. I'll be starting third as here we go. Green flag is out. We are racing. Austin Switzer is going to give a great push to Annie Barr. Right behind is James Elliott, who will be driving the number 48 car this season. Annie Barr will be in the 15 for Coyote Racing. Austin Switzer is just running this series, is falling back and struggling right now. Is the 36. That's Marshawn McDowell, who's running full-time for McGuinness Motorsports this season. As meanwhile, a little contact here between Switzer and the leader. Now, I know this broadcast isn't great, but we are going, me and Micecraft, when we do the VRC races starting next month, they're going to be much, much better than this. We're going to have different camera angles, a pre-race show. But this is Austin Switzer. As we look, 10 laps in the fuel, so that means we are going to have to pit twice in this one. James Elliott has lost the draft, and this is just a small pack, and this is probably going to be like an 8-race season. And whoa, I almost lost it there. What a save by Austin Switzer. And now pulling away a little bit, that's Annie Barr. Barr, as we said, driving the 15 for Coyote Racing this season. Here driving the Flex Shot car for Coyote Racing. Austin Switzer in the one Liberty Racing Xfinity car. Liberty Racing, of course, will be hosting Ryan Peck in the Virtual Racing Championship. 23 laps to go. No halfway bonus in this. Is making a little contact with the wall there is your leader, Annie Barr. It's 1.6 seconds back there to James Elliott. A little over 2 seconds back to the man in 4th place. And a run right here. Austin Switzer pulls out to the inside of Annie Barr. Switzer to the point. Nice move by the 21, getting around Annie Barr, and Austin Switzer takes the lead. But Annie Barr remains in the draft and now starting to work together back there, about a little less than 3 seconds back. It's James Elliott. And now right back to the back bumper, that's Annie Barr on Switzer. Switzer to the bottom. He bounces off the wall. And a big lead now for Austin Switzer, up to a 2-second advantage as Annie Barr has fallen way back. But pit stops obviously are going to make this very, very interesting. James Elliott has fallen back to a solid 6 seconds behind the leaders. I think something might have happened to Elliott, but as we know, there's a wreck, we will have a caution, and a single file restart. As now a 2-second lead for Switzer. All 3 of the other ones are bushwhackers, as David Land would call them. Marshawn McDowell, Annie Barr, and James Elliott all running in the VRC. Austin Switzer is not, but this is like the old 2010 rule. VRC drivers can collect points here in the Tide Series. Austin Switzer has stretched his lead out to nearly 5 seconds, a pass for 3rd place, and there's some trouble, I think, because falling way out of it now. I think something just happened to that car of Annie Barr, because he has fallen all the way back to last place. Unless he's coming down pit road, that's the only option. That is the only possibility. $19 laps to go. I don't really know. He might have come down pit road because we know this strategy comes into play. And falling back now, back to third place. A ways back, and I think coming down pit road now. And yes, he looks like he's been merging up onto the track, and it looks like James Elliott has also come down pit road. So that leaves Marshawn McDowell and the leader Switzer as the only two not to come down pit road yet. We can expect some bigger packs in the Virtual Racing Championship races. First one is March 10th, that's the Clash, for full-timers only. Then, March 17th, we'll be racing at Daytona for the Daytona 100. And yes, off pit road. And I'm starting to think, I don't really know if that 01 came down pit road or not. Or did James Elliott have some trouble coming onto pit road and Switzer makes some contact? And that's going to bring out a caution. That will bring out a caution. Okay, so first caution of the day, James Elliott is out of the race, so a start and park, I guess, for him. 3 cars on the lead lap, getting the wave around there. And needing to pit is Austin Switzer soon, so this should make this very interesting, because I should have pitted there on that caution. First caution ever in the VRC. This is something that we're going to have to get down as time goes on. And the green flag is back out, the Geico restart zone. And we are back underway with 16 laps to go. Austin Switzer is in front, but he won't be for long because Marshawn McDowell is back there. A good start early in the race, but it was an issue for the 01 that caused him some trouble. And he ended up falling 1 lap off the pace. But then he and Switzer made some contact. James Elliott left the race. So Elliott will end up last place in the first ever Tide Racing Series event. And us and Switzer both come down pit road. Pardon me, us and McDowell are both down. So we're going to take 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. Now, I don't know what kind of strategy he's trying to pull. Remember, there still will most likely be 1 more stop in this race. So that does have to be taken into consideration. Oh, and a tight race off pit road. Contact off pit road between Marshawn McDowell and Austin Switzer. As they do have to watch out because coming with a big head of steam now is going to be that 01 car who is bearing down 42 seconds ahead. So he's about 7 seconds away from overtaking them. So let's see once we get straight if we can zoom in this camera a little. Which we do. So it's a 44-second advantage right now for him. But as we know, everybody does have 1 more stop to make. There is no way that anybody can still make it. And he'll be in first as Switzer sits on the same pit strategy as Marshawn McDowell. And Switzer trying to go around the outside of McDowell. McDowell puts him in the wall. But they hang on somehow. Wow, Marshawn McDowell and Switzer getting a little feisty. McDowell gets loose. Austin Switzer to the lead. Yeah, not a lot of the big racers that we expect to be real challengers to the championship. Some of your more experienced racers like Gavin Day, Brandon Beal, they are not in this race. The only other possible entry was going to be that car Fisher G. And Fisher did not make it. So we only have 4 in this race, and it'll be a 4th place finish for James Elliott. And it'll be interesting to see, because we do know, no matter what, even if we have caution laps, that doesn't make a difference. We're going to have to see all of these guys back on pit road one more time. And the fact that a pit under caution for Annie Barr might be what wins him this race, since both Switzer and McDowell stupidly didn't pit under that caution and ended up allowing him now for almost a lap ahead, because he's going to have one less pit stop under green. But a caution would change this dramatically, but at this point it looks like the only way a caution would come out is if there's a single car incident. There's only 3 cars in the track. The only possibility is if something happens, because he is getting close, if Barr can get near lapping McDowell, and then it's another 3 seconds ahead here to Austin Switzer. There are 11 laps to go, 10 once that 0-1 comes across the start-finish line. Austin Switzer is second. McDowell falling back. Something might have just happened to Marshawn McDowell, as he is falling back tremendously. We'll keep an eye out if a caution is to come out. Only other situation would be that he's on pit road, which could be a valiant option. But trying to short pit surely has its risks. And yes, that was a pit stop for McDowell. Nothing happened to the 36, the only McGuinness Motorsports car in this race. Cars from 4 different teams seen in this race, which was interesting. Well, actually, no, never mind. Elliott and McGuinness, both for McGuinness Motorsports in this, because they both drive Chevys. The one Liberty Racing car is the 21, and then Coyote Racing sends out the 0-1. So now, each driver is separated by a solid 43 seconds. This looks like one of those 24-hour races with the way this is working out. But now, good to go for the rest of the way, I assume, is that 36 car. And coming off of pit road now, that's the 0-1. So all 3 now are going to be right together, so this could get interesting. All 3 drivers are going to be in the same vicinity. This is for the lead. Whoa. And I think that's a crash. That is going to be a caution. Alright, so we got a big restart with 3 guys right here. Coyote, that being the 0-1 of Annie Barr. Then you've got the 36 of Marshawn McDowell. And then the 21 of Austin Switzer, the 1 Series regular, trying to take the victory. The only one that doesn't run VRC, because I control Jamie Rockwell in that. Green flag back in the air. Not a good jump by Switzer. The other two get awesome jumps. 7 laps to go. This should get good. No issues of gas with this situation. Now the thing is, will we see some tandem work going? I would not be surprised if we see McDowell try to work with the 0-1 to try to get away from Switzer. Me. But I really want to use Marshawn McDowell as a guy to draft with. Not much time left. This should get very interesting. And weaving back and forth goes that 36 of McDowell. You can tell that car's a little hot to handle. As trying to take the win would be Annie Barr in the first ever race of the Tide Racing Series. And I've got a run on both of these guys. This is going to be a good finish. Elliott did not finish the race. The other 3 will. 6 laps to go here at Daytona. The pinnacle event of the season here in the Tide Series. And McDowell is trying to work with Switzer. Starting the draft, but I cannot keep Marshawn McDowell with me. Let's see, a push. McDowell gets loose. Switzer up into the wall. Alright, so that's not a good thing for me. But now up into the wall too is Annie Barr. Things are getting wild here. McDowell's car glitching out. This is nuts. 5 to go. And everybody is separated by less than a second. Around McDowell goes Switzer. Now, the focus turns towards Annie Barr. Can the veteran online racer beat the youngster? Let's see. Can Switzer beat the big guns? All 3 of the other starters in this race are running full-time VRC this season. Switzer the only one who isn't. And remember to sign up if you got Xbox Live and you've got Heat 2. It's going to be exciting once we get to Daytona in that because we've got 14 full-time drivers right now. As a big push coming. Wow, that just glitched off the back bumper. I don't know how the heck that happened. I think that McDowell has fallen out of it. Let's see how this all works out. Here we come. 3 laps to go. We are not going to make our move just yet. We are going to draft Annie Barr for a while. Just make sure that there's no way Marshawn McDowell can get into us should we make some contact. But we are stretching our gap. But unfortunately, a bit of a bobble there. And now starting to extend away from us again is Barr. 2.5 laps to go here in the Tide Racing Series, race number 1 from Daytona. And we are doing everything we can to keep this 0-1 car intact. A big push coming once again. We have cleared away from McDowell. Now it's 4 seconds. When do we make our move? I'm saying backstretch final lap. I don't want to do anything yet. But I might make it through 1 and 2 in about a lap because I don't trust that I'm in a situation like this where I'd fall back on the backstretch. I might make it in the tri-oval coming up. I'm going to try to avoid the yellow line, even though Virtual Racing Championship, we really don't have yellow line rules. Because we're not the best of racers, and in some ways we need that yellow line at these plate tracks. Just, we've been clear to the other drivers, don't, like, overuse it. Let's see what we can do. We're pulling out. Now getting back in with Barr. Crossover move. And around we go. Through the grass. Oh no. Well, we tried to make our move. Annie Barr did great there holding us off. That was not his fault at all. But this isn't over. Can we reel him in? I don't think so, but we've gained 0.3 of a second. Not necessarily over. He has a bad turn 3. Here we come again. I hit the apron. I hit it again. Here we come to the line. To the line. It's going to be Annie Barr with a big block. What a race. Barr's going to win the first tied race. Austin Switzer gives it an amazing effort. What a race to kick off the tied racing series. Hope you enjoyed.